Fitness Phil. Disrespect, I break your neck and then I flex.
Support wasn't great, but wasn't bad. I would have liked to see more support for the return of a game that had this much attendance on it, but I can't make people support. Maybe it was just a slow day. I don't know.
Money. Steady as she goes, dude, and crank up those tunes.
It comes in denim. It comes in denim. It comes in denim.
I would like to start off today with some positivity and some good news. All right. So, as I've told you guys, last couple of weeks have been pretty rough on Kick, but I have an update, a positive one. We have come back. What do I mean by that? Well, over the last several days of this week, Kick has pumped up in both attendance and support. I don't know why. Maybe it's because on Sunday, I unbanned a ridiculous amount of people on Kick. I said, you know, maybe I've been too grumpy. Maybe I should have a change of attitude. And so, I did a mass unbanning on Kick. Tons of accounts came back. And since, no lie, big support increase. And we actually had a pretty darn good week on Kick, which is weird because I had a day off, an extra day off last week. But it was still a really good week on Kick. So, to everyone on Kick, I want to say thank you for watching and or supporting in the last week. In celebration, this morning I added a new command, Pokepull. Go ahead and use exclamation point Pokepull, Pokepull, as a silly command that you can now use to do silly stuff in the chat in tandem with the new Pokemon card madness that has become a part of the channel in the last month. Notably, if you didn't know, we're about to hit 1 month. It was actually May 21st when I unpacked my first pack ever of Pokemon cards. So, we're almost at a month anniversary of the madness, okay? So, enjoy the new command, everyone over there. I hope that you like it. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of June, 2026. First off, we tried Resident Evil Code Veronica X, my second playthrough ever. We started this yesterday, okay? And it is the original PS2 version this time. The last time that I played this game 11 years ago, it was on PS3, which apparently is a slightly different version. So this time we were doing the original game as played on PS4, as played on PS5. I know, it's a lot of as playeds because it's the digital version, that's the conversion that you play on this console, but now you can play it on this console. So it's kind of convoluted. But we started this up yesterday, all right? I got some positives and negatives to say about Code Veronica X this time around. First off, I'll say this, okay? Honestly, the game is kind of weird when you're playing it on a modern console. The graphics are upscaled, but they're really not. And what I mean by that is some graphics look HD and others look totally fuzzy. Like you're in the menu, right? Your inventory. And the boxes and everything are drawn in HD, but then the text is insanely blurry for some reason. Like, it's like, what? They couldn't upscale that? And the items are low definition, but then the character models are high definition. It's very weird. And also, this is the first Resident Evil where they actually designed 3D environments. So I guess it looks technically better than the old Resident Evils that had the pre-rendered backgrounds, or does it? Not really. Like, I haven't really noticed that the game looks much better at all, to be honest with you, okay? There's this weird graphical glitchy thing that's happening. Every time that a character's on screen, look at their lips, and there's like little white pixels appearing around their mouths and lips. I don't know what's causing that. Obviously, it's something to do with the upscaling or whatever. It's weird, okay? So the game is rough around the edges graphically, to be honest. They didn't really do a good job here, I feel, of porting it for a modern audience. Gameplay-wise, I don't remember the game at all. Like, I literally don't. This was 11 years ago during the summertime downtime that I played it, and it was just a filler game, and I remember particularly people liked it, but I don't remember much about the game. So as I'm playing it, I'm realizing this is like the ultimate Resident Evil backtracker. And what I mean by that is, right off the get-go, the first thing you get presented with is a puzzle you can't solve. And so now we're about 2.5 hours in. We just got the item to go back to the beginning of the game and solve a puzzle. Seriously. The game is like that, where it's like, you found this, you can't do anything with it for an hour. Did you find this? You can't do anything with it for 2 hours. So, I don't know why they designed the game like that, but that's literally the game. So we are now going to be running around backtracking, probably today's stream, and doing puzzles and things that we couldn't touch last time because we didn't have the solutions, and now we're getting the solutions. So, I mean, we're 2.5 hours in, and we've only seen a very little part of the game because it's all about running in loops and, you know, going back to solve puzzles. Ultimately, do I like it? Yeah, it's all right. Support wasn't great, but wasn't bad. I would have liked to see more support for the return of a game that had this much attendance on it, but I can't make people support. Maybe it was just a slow day. I don't know. We'll see how it goes today. I am hoping that today we'll get a little bit more support. If you like Resident Evil Code Veronica, actually, you're in the right place. We're playing it 2 days in a row. Please support today's stream, okay? Let's get some rallying for the classics that you guys wanted me to go back to. Only the second playthrough I'm ever doing of this game to prepare for next year's remake. Hey, let's flex for Mad TV, everyone. Yeah, flex for Mad TV. Very nice. It was like 007 First Light is a game that people are divided on. There's quite a few people who really bought into hype and really liked it. Particularly, there's a lot of bigger YouTubers who claimed it's like Game of the Year material. And then there's some who said, it's just okay. I'm of the realm that it's just okay. Like, I'm not going to say, 007 First Light is a terrible piece of dog shit. It's not. It's fine. It plays fine. The graphics are good. But for me, I played it, 5-6 hours? I was bored, man. Like, there was absolutely nothing in that game that was holding my interest. The story was boring. The gameplay was mid at best. It has been done so much better in many other games. And maybe it's just because we haven't had this stealth kind of game in many years that people were liking it. But not me. And I'm not, you know me, I'm not going to stick around and play a game that I'm not finding interesting. And particularly, the audience didn't find it interesting. Everyone was bored when I was playing it, man, you know? And I really do feel like a lot of it these days is all about the hype. If there's an audience that buys in the hype and there's creators that hype a game, all of a sudden people will have this really big inflated idea of what a game is. Same thing happened with Crimson Desert, man. You know, I just don't understand why so many people are just, you know, so in love with Crimson Desert when there's just a bunch of boring shit. But people are. I mean, today I think the criteria is different. It used to be back in the day when you played a big high-profile AAA style game, you were looking for best-in-class stuff. This is the best I've ever had this, right? This is an amazing story, groundbreaking graphics, awesome stealth gameplay, right? None of that is in 007. Like, none of it. So why would I say I'm, like, in love with the game and I want to keep playing it? I don't, you know? It's just not that good. And I'm honest about it. You know, everyone has different tastes, okay? To be honest, everyone does, and that's okay. If you like 007, more power to you. I'm looking for something better. I'm bored. So that's why I moved on. And one thing I will say, okay? Here is how you truly judge the quality of a game. Ready? Is anyone talking about it a month later? Are you aware 007 First Light came out about a month ago? Okay? Is anyone talking about it right now? No. You are, because you said you just finished watching someone playing. Outside of that, literally no one is talking. No one at all. It's as if the game never existed. The buzz is done. People have already moved on and are doing other things and don't care about this game anymore. Will people even remember it at the end of the year? Probably not. Okay? Compare that with last year's Expedition 33. That was a game that people talked about literally all year and never stopped talking about. That's why it was Game of the Year. I rest my case. Same thing with the game. Forza Horizon 6. For 1 week, everyone talked about Forza Horizon 6. Now it's like they never released. No one cares. Why? Because it was based solely on hype around the release window, the marketing, and creators that were pushing it. And then everyone dropped it. No one even beat it. No one finished it. They just played it for a few days and stopped playing it. That's how the industry seems to be these days. Everyone hypes a game, rushes, plays it for 2 days, and drops it and never talks about it again. That's just not the kind of game that I'm really looking for. You know what I mean? Last night, a weird technical thing happened that I still don't understand. So I have changed absolutely nothing with my settings, nothing with my streaming software, nothing at all. Last night, we are streaming the late night stream, which is going to be a combination of Killer Bean and Mina the Hollower. Why? Well, originally it was supposed to be Pokemon Champions, but Pokemon Champions went down for maintenance because the game has gone fully cross-play. You can now play Pokemon Champions both on Switch 1 and 2, but also on your mobile device. And it's cross-play between the two now, which is really cool. So now you can play against people all over the world on different platforms. So the player base will be huge tonight when we play. I'm actually very excited. I think tonight's going to be very cool to play against so many new people. It's going to be fun. The rankings will reset, and we're going to try to get as high in the rankings as we can in tonight's late night stream of Pokemon Champions. So I hope you'll join me for it. It should be pretty exciting and hype, okay? But anyway, so last night, instead of that, we're playing Killer Bean and Mina the Hollower. So already my time is split. All of a sudden, my animations stopped working. And I couldn't tell you why. I changed nothing. And the weirdest part was the music would play for the animations, but not the animations themselves. So I don't know if this was just the thing where the site broke or whatever, but the weirdest part was I turned on the animations for the DSP Reacts channel, which I barely use, and those worked. So I have no idea what happened. And I ended up wasting over a half an hour trying to mess with this stupid thing to get it to work. And eventually all I did is I made a whole new, input for like a browser input for OBS. That's the software I use, Open Broadcasting Software. I made a new browser plugin screen, and I just added the same exact line of code that I use now for my pop-ups, and then it started working. I'm like, but I didn't change anything. Very frustrating. Technology can be frustrating. If anyone does a $50 contribution, we automatically will open a pack. Killer Bean is a hilarious mess, okay? I guess you could call it a hot mess, right? Why? Well, it's funny, it's irreverent, it's silly, it's gritty, and there's definitely entertainment factor there. Essentially, in Killer Bean, you are a guy who's a bean. I'm not even kidding. You're just like a baked bean or something. And you're running around, shooting everything around you, and there's bullet time effects, much like Max Payne, where you jump in a direction and the game slows down, and then you can move quickly and shoot a whole bunch of enemies. The game plays essentially three different ways. Well, I guess I'd say three different ways. If you're in a city, it plays like Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row, where you're driving around and all of a sudden enemies will come out of a building. You got to take them all out, go inside, get something from the building, and then get out of there. Very similar like base takeovers in Saints Row and stuff like that. If you're in an open map area, it plays a little different. I'd argue maybe it's a little bit more like Just Cause. Not that there's destruction, because there's not. But basically, there'll be bases all over the screen. And what you do is you go into these bases and you do various things. You kill a ridiculous amount of enemies and you hack electronics. The electronics will show things on the map, like the location of ammo, rare weapons, things that you need to beat the stage. Like, for example, there's certain vehicles you have to blow up. There's certain gas tanks you have to shoot. There's things you have to do, takeover events, like grab flags and stuff like that. So that's the second type of gameplay, is essentially you're just going through this open world map and you're doing open world objectives. And then the third kind of gameplay is boss fights, which is basically you're fighting a boss. The boss is a tank, usually has special weapons. You have to run around an open arena, grabbing ammo and just shooting the boss in bullet time and dodging until you kill it. That's the game. I'm 2 hours into it. That's all we've seen. We've played 4 stages. That's the game. Now, I don't know anything further will be any different, but that's all we've encountered so far. The game is insanely rough around the edges, and what I mean by that is it's not done. It's in early access, and you can tell they're going to refine this game more the further that they develop it. I do feel that what will happen is the game will become more polished and be better over time, but right now, it's hilarious. The characters are getting fused into walls and glitching and wiggling out in, like, ragdoll. And basically, like, there's all kinds of bugs and problems with the game. Notably, what pissed me off last night is that we're in stage 4, right? And we're going through this open world stage, and we're killing all the enemies or whatever. And eventually it says, okay, there's a chopper coming, and you have to take out the chopper. But there's only 2 ways to damage choppers. A rocket launcher, which is randomly put throughout the stage. You have no clue where it is. You just have to find it randomly in one of the many bases in a giant open world map. Or you can hack these missile turrets, and those will shoot the chopper out of the air. The problem is, when you find one, it says, oh, you can't hack it because you don't have level 2 hacking. What does that mean? So I spent 25 minutes, couldn't figure out how to take out the chopper. I did find a rocket launcher, but I couldn't hit the chopper enough to kill it, and then I died. Game over. Start the whole stage over. There's no checkpoints. Oh. So I reloaded. And another 25 minutes, I repetitively grinded my way through the mission. This time, I found a random little green thing. I didn't know what it was. I touched it. Oh, that's the level 2 hacker tool. Oh, I was supposed to just know that, I guess. So then I was able to hack the turret. The turret took out the chopper, but then the stage continued. Blow up these gas tanks, destroy these 3 vehicles. And the vehicles were all glitched and were getting stuck in place and stuff. It's a really rough game. It's not bad because there are funny moments. Like, there's some badass moments when you're fighting bosses or you got a grenade launcher, you launch it, you multi-kill a bunch of enemies and stuff like that. Pretty cool, right? So, basically, I think the game is okay. But it really frustrated me last night. And I'm like, if I keep playing this, we're probably just going to keep getting more and more frustrated. You can tell the game's not done yet. They're likely going to do more to make the game better. So should we keep playing it? And last night, basically, people were telling me, nah, what you should do is hold off. Back in the day, I used to do weekly co-op sessions with my friend John Rambo. And we would play a wide variety of games. We would do action games. We would do RPGs. We would do the stupid motion control things on the Kinect and the PS Move. We would do retro games. We would do modern games. We did everything. And we did this for like 2-3 years straight. Every weekend, we do a co-op segment on Saturday. And usually it was prominent and popular, and it would do numbers, and we'd make a lot of money doing it. And then all of a sudden, after we were doing this for like a year and a half, you start hearing, oh, did you hear this other group of YouTubers are doing a co-op show? Did you hear this other group of YouTubers are doing a weekly co-op show? A co-op show? Like, wait, what? Now, I'm not saying that I invented the co-op show by any means. I'm just saying I was focused on doing my own content. I only cared about that. I didn't really care what everyone else out there was doing. But then I would start hearing about, oh, someone else is also doing what you're doing. Someone else is doing what you're doing. Well, no shit. No kidding. I was an innovator back then, quite frankly. No one wants to admit it today because now everyone just wants to talk about lolcow status. But a lot of stuff that I did back in the day, people kind of saw and were inspired and kind of bid off of it and did their own thing. So I've never seen two best friends play. I've heard that it's great and people really loved the show and they were sad when it ended. Good. That's a good thing. I hope that if they come back that they do well. I don't know anything about them. I've literally never seen their show. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's good, it's bad. I'm not going to say I'm jealous that they were popular because I know that they were very popular at one point. And honestly, I just don't really care. Okay? But in truth, the reason that I don't know about them is because I was always a very work-oriented guy focused on my content and what I was doing. And I didn't really pay attention to what everyone else was doing around me. Someone tipped $2 said, I hear you preface a lot of things with, I've been on YouTube for 18 years to prove a point. Do you think you're an innovator because of that? An innovator because I've been around for 18 years?
Step through, looking like a primate. Smoke two, stepping out the driveway. New shoes, caught it with the wine stain. 365 till I die on a fine day. You want everything I got now, everything I work for, hurt for. Pull up the shirt for the real law, stuck in the field roar. The trip one stuck in the field force for real cause when I'm not.